Hello, 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 everybody. Anyways, it has been a long time since we've played this game, and unfortunately, I have no fucking clue where we left off. Even worse, the videos on YouTube won't help you, because I think the last video I uploaded was like 6? And then when I got this new computer, I didn't think that the flash drive that I had them all stored on would get erased when I used it to install Windows. So this is technically like episode 10 or 11. We just finished the hospital shit. I think that's right. I think we just ran off to the hospital with the gangrel sire. Did a bunch of stuff there, and now we're back. The good thing is this game is so, like, episodic in a way that it doesn't really matter. You miss out. It's like each chapter is kind of a contained story in itself, and then there's the overarching story that is kind of the rivalry between Leto and Julian. Yeah, so the side quest was all wrapped up. So I don't mean to say that everything we did doesn't really matter, but you know. The next game I like more because it's all very tightly woven, and it all matters. There's no little side quest things that you can do that have no consequences. I think it's better. Off to cause trouble, BRB. Which one? Which other game? Parliament of Knives is the other one that I've played all the way through, and I really enjoyed that one. I'm thinking about playing it next after this one because I enjoyed it. I liked it even more than I liked this one. So naturally, I had to... I'm fucking sitting on this coat, and it's so, like... I don't know, it's got, like, a velvety underside to it, but that just means I keep sliding down my chair, because there's nothing... There's no friction against my ass. Not that I usually like friction against my ass, but, you know. Coteries of New York. Oh, I haven't played that one, yeah. No, Parliament of Knives is the other one that I've played, and that was really good. That was... I actually had a ton of fun playing that game. I had a lot of fun playing Night Road as well, but it kind of helped me, like, learn Vampire the Masquerade, whereas Parliament of Knives... I think it doesn't really help you learn the game so much, but it's just a really good story. It's not too bad. Friction against the ass. You want to see one where the choices matter? Yeah, I think Parliament of Knives, they do. You can have... There's so many different endings to that one. And the ending I got didn't even answer, like, one of the great mysteries, because my character was kind of like, they're dead. Let's move on. And that was it. It was very interesting. It's absolutely getting clipped. So I guess, since everything that happened doesn't really matter, unless we get our little Leto... Side story, main story. Leto is the story. I'll just start from the top of the page, and we'll see how much of this makes sense and that we remember. It's interesting with good art and characters, but you don't want to replay it since Coteries. Yeah. I think this one has... Oh, God, I hope... And it has to have a few different endings. I think I looked it up. There's, like, 4. And in a way, they're kind of like open-ended and vague, which a lot of people hate, but I kind of like it. It lets you, use your imagination and make up what happens after that. But I know a lot of people don't really like that, so some of you guys might be upset with the ending of this one. It'll be very different from the ending that I got, though, because I went full Julian last time I played. So anyways, I can't remember anybody's voices except for Leto's, probably. So I can't even remember how Dove sounds, but... This is Dove. Very kind of you, Ransom, Dove says. Maybe she meant to sound sarcastic, but she doesn't. She looks at you thoughtfully for a second, then shakes her head, as if she just said something foolish, and points down to the street. They're all your voice. Best steak in the city. What a good night. That's awesome. Then the Nosferatu's eyes follow a maroon Toyota AE86 as it wheezes into the parking lot. Carlos hops out and runs around to the passenger door. He and the guy in the Ed Hardy t-shirt, doesn't say t-shirt, Ed Hardy shirt, try to help a third man out. But he's obviously dead. You recognize the third man. He's one of Tucson's ghoul couriers. He drives, or drove, a yellow Chevy Nova SS. He rather rudely cut you off. And now he's dead. Carlos joins you and Dove on the roof a minute later. He's wearing a cheap suit smeared with blood. Looking at the suit, Dove asks her ghoul, How was internal affairs? Part of why the Ivory Tower has been so successful in its control over mortal institutions, like the police. The ghoul shakes his head. I'm suspended with pay. They're everywhere, Dove. And my contacts in Seattle are gone. Do you know what that means for the blood trade? It means... Oh, shit. Is this guy still walking around? Why aren't you dead yet, Ransom? Everyone else is. Carlos, go find Prince Leto, Dove says. The ghoul blanches, but does as he's told. And you, Dove says, rounding on you. Would you like to know who here at the Viper works for the Second Inquisition? Because I'd sure like to fucking know, Dove says. Someone deleted all the records in our monitoring station. She slouches against the railing, then stands upright, determined not to look weak in front of you. The SI spies are everywhere, Ransom, she says. To my surprise, you actually seem honest, and you've helped us. I respect Leto, but he's too open. He holds to the old ways that the Camarilla used to have before the Beckoning called most of our elders away and everything went to shit. He tolerates anarchs. He works with fingers. Fingers. He works with his fingers, does he? Leto. He works with fringers and independents like you. And, well, you're all right. She clears her throat. But others aren't. And now most of them are dust, and the information they are carrying is in our enemy's hands. How can he let people pass in and out of a time of war? No one suspects the Spanish Inquisition. He works with fingers, huh? Wink wonk. Viper's a cash cow, Dove. He needs a dance hall, or he runs out of money. And poor princes don't last long. It's that simple. You're right, it's unsafe. What do you expect me to do? You really shouldn't question your prince, Dove. Maybe he's not cut out for this sort of thing. Oh, yikes. Leto is right trying to reopen the Camarilla. It'll grow frail and useless if it's just another country club for the vampire elite. I'll do it on one condition tonight. You and I go on a drive tomorrow night. No. I'm sorry, Dove. We got eyes for one and one only. I think the first or the last... I mean, these two are kind of simple, but I think the first one's just kind of true. He needs money. He's a magic man. Maybe it's that simple for him, Dove says. Not for me. I'm in charge of keeping Tucson safe. And for tonight, so are you. I'm catching spies, you ask? You consider the situation, especially since, as far as Dove is concerned, you might be the spy. But while you're a spy... but while you may be your Julian spies, But while you might be Julian's spy, you're not the Second Inquisition's. I don't expect you to catch a traitor in the wainscoting? Wainscoting? What an interesting word. But you're a fresh set of eyes, and Prince Leto trusts you. Use those fresh eyes. Look for anything strange. And report back to me. Let's solve this problem before we all have to flee Seattle. Oh, flee to Seattle. Whoops. Hello, Simon. Welcome. Seattle. I've heard news. No, I haven't. I've heard something about it being the center of the blood trade, a sort of land of opportunity. Maybe Dove knows more. Are you looking to leave? I sometimes wonder where I could break for it if the Camarilla inevitably betrays me. I won't make mistakes. No panicked flights to Seattle for us. I'm determined to impress these Camarilla types. Yes, I am. Anything for Daddy Leto. I thought you weren't working, Julie. You're not. The game just has some kind of, like, scripted things that it'll say like that, so we're not working for Julian. But I don't think it knows that. Sorry, Julian. Yeah, sorry, Julian. Dove just laughs. Let's hope not, she says. When Prince Cross up there realizes we're not sending blood... Oh, Prince Cross. Okay, literally being like the guy in Seattle, not some nickname for Leto. We're not sending blood from Camp Scheffler North. He's going to be mad. So if we have to run, I'm running to San Francisco. I hear it's nice. But I'm not running anywhere. Find the spy, Ransom. There are only a few dozen people up here in Elysium, but the Viper sprawls like a medieval castle. And even with the mood subdued, there are hundreds of people downstairs. You wonder how to approach this investigation and how you can exploit any information you find. One thing is for sure. The SI is getting dangerous. If you don't find any clues, the spy will escape with information about the local kindred, including you. Letting that information leave the Viper is a clear violation of the Masquerade. Some fledglings watch you with a mix of curiosity and fear. They probably don't know much about your clan, except rumors of snake gods and ugly tales about pushers and fixers, but they don't start any trouble. We gotta choose Leto. I'm kind of curious. I kind of forgot what all of our stats are. We're a little hungry. Little hungry, that's not good. Charisma and manipulation and composure. We are just willpower and good luck. Good looks, nothing else. As well as leadership, persuasion. Okay, good. Investigation. Oh, we're good at... That's good, that's good. And combat. Oh, we're a fighter, okay. And then presence and protean. All right. Nice. I think if we get that third one up, we can transform into a really fucking big, nasty snake. And presence is just... I don't know. Literally your presence. All right. I tell the Camarilla about Nadia. That will permanently alienate Julian, but earn the Camarilla's loyalty. Why not, Julian? Hung boy? That's the tweet. We dumb as fuck? What? Hungy? What's the tweet? Huh? Did I do something wrong? Was it me? No? What? I'm very confused. Ransom is dumb as fuck. Oh, that's the tweet. I get it. You're not talking about my tweet. You are talking about Ransom. Yes, Ransom is dumb as fuck. I am also dumb as fuck. So we can't do this one. Intelligence and academics, we have neither of those. Wits plus awareness? What is our main stats? Wits, no. Awareness? Maybe. Intelligence plus investigation. I think our intelligence is shit. Yeah. Charisma plus persuasion. Now that sounds good. Manipulation plus streetwise. Or we could... That'll knock up our hunger a tick. You not dumb. Sometimes it do be... Who is sending me all these Snapchats? Oh, it's my old coworker. Oof, that intelligence. Yeah. I'm tempted... My charm will help Elena. And... me. Oh, Elena. Yes, Elena. I can't even remember how I was saying her name, but that's my thrall. I forgot about that. You just got a cray chat. I mean, why not start... I'm torn between one of these two. You know what? I'll let you guys decide. Just like the good old days. Can I start a poll? How do I do that? Wasn't that a thing that I did? Can I not do that anymore? I don't see that option. Can I do /poll? No. Oh well. Anyways. I guess this is... Charisma plus Persuasion is like our max stats. It's dumb to not go with that. Charisma, Persuasion. Yeah. It would be very hard to fail this one. So let's see if we hear anything useful or damning. Why not? It's time to charm the Elysium goers. It shouldn't be hard to stay on my best behavior and make small talk. If I can persuade them to like me, I can overhear something useful or damning. Yeah, shit intelligence, but great investigation. He's like, that looks out of place? I don't know why, but it does. So I'm going to report it. You catch all sorts of whispered gossip as you cross the rooftop garden. Camp Scheffler, gone. The satellite courier had something to do with it. I heard the Russians helped the SI burn it down. That's ridiculous. There's no such thing as Russians. What about Flagstaff? No one knows. That degenerate from Mexico City got destroyed, but no one knows if it was the SI or... The Viper is a well-chosen name, as the Elysium, like every Elysium, is a nest of serpents who care nothing for the traditions. Nonetheless, you're the model of decorum and charm. You converse, flatter, praise, and condemn, moving your way among the old guard Ventrue, the local Malkavians who always seem to see too much, and the various ghouls and blood dolls who believe themselves important here. Man got good wisdom, yeah. After more than an hour of elegant tedium, you start hearing about a new Toreador that everyone is excited to meet. Elegant, charming, and apparently quite rich, she's in town for just a few nights. It takes you a moment to recognize the thin blood. Her makeup job is exceptional, but you see how the cosmetics hide scabs that won't go away. You remember her from St. Basil's. She's one of Patamuster's. Or was. Maybe he threw her out. Or maybe she's trying to move up in the world with this little con. As the thin blood lies and charms her way through the Elysium, it's clear that you're the only one who knows her, and she hasn't recognized you. You file that useful information away for later. As midnight approaches, Prince Leto has yet to make his appearance, though Carlos has notified him of your arrival. Dove talks with the other kindred, who are worried about a courier who is now 2 nights late. Elena vanishes again, this time to strike up conversations with potential suppliers. Thanks, Elena. Why not? Why not? Let's drop the fucking dirt on Nadia. Why not? Burn some bridges. Let's burn some bridges. Russia is a deep state lie. Yeah, there's no such thing as Russians. You tell Dove what you know about Nadia, Julian's contact. Her skull-like face manages to become even more hideous as she scowls. I'll be right back. There's some kind of disturbance downstairs. By the time you get to the glass observation box looking down the dance floor, it's over. Dove returns, gives you a brief, pleased nod, and keeps moving. You don't see what happened to Nadia. Well, why not? We still got one hunger. We have presents maxed out. Why not? Fuck it. Fuck it. We are a Camarilla bitch. Yes, we are. My superhuman charm will help Elena and me get what we want from the lowlifes outside the Viper. Fledgling and neonate kindred circulate along the walls. Though not allowed to feed here, they congregate at the edge of the dance floor to exchange gossip. Has anyone heard about what happened in Phoenix? I've got a friend there. I think it's safe. That Brujah, the one who got driven out by the last prince, made some kind of deal, and now everyone's lying low. And has anyone heard from Dallas? Just what you see on the news, all the house fires. Scavengers surround the Viper like seagulls around a fishing boat. Junkies, scene kids, pushers, and tryhards sulk around the alleys and parking lots, trying to get inside or trying to exploit those who want in. You and Elena start with the addicts, but they don't know anything. So you move on to the wannabes and immediately start to get somewhere. Leto is pretty cool for a 250-year-old Polish aristocrat who wears a cowboy hat, and people are desperate to get into his club. After spending a few dollars to help people out, and letting Elena work her charm on some college boys, you soon find out how desperate. So the delivery guy smuggles people inside a cooler for $100 so they can listen to old people music? Oh, this is Elena. Whoops. So the delivery guy smuggles people inside a cooler for $100 so they can listen to old people music. Elena says, as type O negative pounds through the closed door. Oh, that's mean to type O negative. Oh dear. I guess they are a bit of an old band at this point, huh? Your connection sucks. I hope mine doesn't. Oh, I haven't been recording, so I'll have to download the VOD. I can't even, like, see how my stream is doing. I guess I should probably boot it up on my phone. It looks okay. Loads fine? Okay, no hiccups. Oh well. The delivery guy doesn't look like a Second Inquisition agent, but what he's doing is an obvious security breach, and Dove would like to know about it. It's the hour when the nightclubs get a little crazy. Dove and Carlos deal with a few mundane crises, and then watch the streets from the rooftop, their expression bleak. Whoever was supposed to arrive tonight isn't coming. Elena has slipped upstairs to the Elysium. She watches, worried. Servile faces? Servile faces of the other ghouls. Her expression unreadable behind her railway glasses. Smooth as butter. Thank you. Oh god. Intelligence plus academics, wits plus awareness, intelligence plus investigation. Okay, is our intelligence or our wits better? And is our awareness or our investigation better? Let me see these stats. Intelligence. Wits is a little better. Investigation. Academics. Awareness. Oh, that's a tough one. I think I might just go... Wow, wits is 2. I don't know if having 3 in investigation but only 1 in intelligence beats out 2 in awareness and 2 in wits. So sweet, make sugar taste like salt. No, as in, like, it's so sweet that even the sweet stuff doesn't taste as sweet, I think. I'm very torn. I might go investigation because we have that maxed and just hope that my intelligence is not that bad. This calls for a systematic and intelligent investigation of the physical environment of Elysium. I use my brains that I don't have to analyze the rooftop for any clues. The rooftop is in constant motion as vampires, ghouls, and blood dolls swirl around each other or head up or down to the dance floor. You make just enough conversation to avoid suspicion, then get down to Sherlock Holmes business, looking for hiding spots, mysterious stains. Blood isn't suspicious, but ink can be, or odd damage to the structure. You can't find anything interesting up here, so you head down to the private glass box that overlooks the dance floor, where Prince Leto once let you pick out some new clothes. It's deserted. Its refrigerator locked. It's a different refrigerator. Now, if you're being honest with yourself, you've torn a fridge apart to get at bagged blood. Who hasn't? But something about the refrigerator strikes you as odd. You try to move it, but it's bolted into place. You shine your phone's light into the gap between the back of the refrigerator and the wall, and... is that some kind of hatch? You stick your phone in, take a picture, and then look at the picture. Huh? There's a little cabinet that leads from the wall to the back of the fridge. It looks like a dumbwaiter. Leto wouldn't waste any time with a system like that, but a smuggler might. You file that information away. There's a ripple of excitement from the kindred when Alexander appears and speaks with Dove. Rumor has it that Leto will appear soon. This means you still have time to decide what to do with that thin blood masquerading as a Toreador. No! Not cutting any slack. Put her right to the chopping block. Bam, 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 just like that. She's a security issue. I let Dove know. You tell Dove that you recognize the thin blood from St. Basil's. That adds up, Nosferatu says. How do you want it done? Carlos asks his regent. Regnant? Regnant, yeah. Dove glances towards you, then talks to Carlos out of earshot. He listens and nods. You don't see the thin blood again. But you've discovered more than that. The dumbwaiter behind the fridge that you're sure isn't supposed to be there. The delivery driver smuggling kids into parties. Both discoveries are interesting. I let Dove know about all the issues. For Big Man Leto. Bam, 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 exactly. After telling Dove about the thin blood, you just keep talking. The skull-faced Nosferatu looks almost pained by how good your information is. Prince Leto is still busy and keeps the excited crowd waiting another hour. It's so early you got a headache. Oh no, Rip, I'm sorry. There's a flutter of nervous excitement as someone else appears at the step, but it's just Dove, carrying a blood-dotted backpack. Who still has a phone? She says. I said, who still has a phone? A few people hold up their flip phones. Someone has a Samsung Galaxy. Oh, shit, like this. Throw them out, Dove says. We're done with the phones. That's how they tracked our last courier. Our tricks don't work anymore. She starts working through the crowd, and while Dove seems to like you, that won't buy you any leniency here. You and Ellen are in the back. Bummer. Yeah, it's a fucking bummer, but I'm starting to trust the camera to look out for my safety. As long as I'm useful and don't run my mouth, I hand my phone over. Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? I'm a vampire. What do I need a phone for, aside from making thirst traps on TikTok? This is bullshit, Elena tells Dove. Unlike the rest of you, I have a real job. Use a landline, Dove tells your retainer. You got a rotary phone I can plug in, Grandma? Elena says. But she tosses her iPhone and her burner. Oh, oof, Elena, I'm sorry. Your phone follows. Oh. Yeah, she is a good character. Once all the phones are collected, Prince Leto finally ascends to the rooftop of Elysium. Despite the aura of fear that pervades the Viper, the prince is immaculate. He strides confidently past you and Elena, not even looking your way. He wears a white cotton suit, his unruly blonde hair pulled back by a black ribbon. 2 armadillos follow him as he works through the crowd, reassuring people as he can. Then he spends a few minutes talking to Dove. His eyes are fixed on the eastern horizon, though Dove looks west towards the highway. He finally notices you. His gray eyes are calm and steady. It's like none of the worry that pervades Tucson is allowed to touch its prince. Come with me, Ransom, he says. We have to discuss Julian Sim. It's not like any muscle shows up to move you along. Leto doesn't need it. He just waves you through the glass box overlooking the dance floor to a short hallway lined with iron gates. Confused and uncertain, Elena moves to follow, but Dove stops her. Through one grated-over doorway, you see the guy in the Ed Hardy shirt, or what's left of him. Your work, eliminating potential suspects and investigating the Viper, proved invaluable, Leto says. Once Dove told me about what you discovered, I realized that I had been chasing suspects who were merely crooked, not actually spying for the Inquisition. That only left one suspect who was good enough to confess his crimes and name his accomplices. The hallway ends in double doors that open in the Eagle Prince's private office. Make yourself comfortable, Leto says, gesturing to a selection of overstuffed armchairs and settling into a heavy oak desk, behind a heavily oak desk. This place is a hall of memories and mementos. Paintings, photos, old weapons, strange treasures, many of them great antiquity and beauty. You see a tapestry labeled the Lampago, books in several languages, trinkets of all kinds. Big oh shit moment, huh? And that's all well and good, but I scanned the room for a way out in case Leto was planning something more than a chat. The Lampago? Like the monster hunters? Oh, like the monster the hunters destroyed here in Tucson a few years back? I examined the tapestry. How close was Leto to that old, magnificent monster? Weapons? I love weapons! I look for anything interesting. No. So many memories. I explore what Leto has seen and where he's been. Anything worth stealing? No! It's nice to be alone with Leto for once. Everything that's happened hasn't diminished my fondness for him. How have you been Leto. We gotta go with that one. For a moment, he looks helplessly surprised. His elder veneer cracking. Then Leto seems to look at you, again, for the first time. I've been thinking about my friends, he says. Jasper is dead. I forgot there's a character named Jasper in this game. Got excited. The mortals I knew between the wars are just names in old New Yorker articles. Dove does her job, but I know she hates being trapped here. I'm starting to feel old, Ransom. I want to fly away. Is it the beckoning? It is like being immortal and knowing you're about to fall sick. I can't remember what it's like, but You approach him as carefully as you dare. He lets you stand next to him, shoulders touching, as he stares at a wall armed with old oil paintings. The long, long dead. Photographs line another wall. Leto in a French airman's uniform during the Great War of 1917. Paternoster with Thomas Mann and Bertolt Brecht at a restaurant in Santa Monica, 1942. The Warlock, Jasper Knowles, and D'Espin the Toreador in Las Vegas, smiling in their tacky outfits, 1960. A grim-looking man in a boxy suit. The Ventrue who once ruled Tucson, with the smiling, golden-haired Donald Trump in the foreground. Leto and Dove, half hidden behind, 1987. A beautiful, black-haired woman on the Spanish Riviera, wearing a sun hat under the light of a full moon, 1920. That night, you poached blood dolls from the Archbishop of Marabella, hid in crumbling fortifications that no mortal had seen in 100 years. And you even flew again. And crashed again. But in the Newport 20, you got safely to Gibraltar and the last secret palace of the Banu Hakim in Europe. And then under the moonlight... Ransom. It's Leto. Who else would it be? Ransom! The Prince of Tucson calls you back to the 21st century. He holds you so that you don't fall, and you look for something in his office, anything that can recall you to yourself. Who? Yeah, he was an actor. Yeah, actors and celebrities, right? I know the first time I played through, I was like, wait, huh? Yeah, Ransom did nearly faint. It seems like we're having a bit of a flashback to the woman that we consumed. We traveled all over the world in those nights, Leto says, gently making sure you can stand, then looking at the photos. Like foolish neonates. And it's not like any of us were young, but that's all over now. I'm entombed here. Not even Dove drives anymore. Dove thinks I am too merciful as a prince, Leto goes on. But I don't punish people for who they are. A friend of mine was entombed unlawfully in Los Angeles, and the prince there, LaCroix, I'm sure you know the story. And I didn't destroy my predecessor's child there, you may have noticed. Indeed, those blue bloods are always sulking around upstairs. Well, except for one, after he conspired to consume Invidia Cowl. Why he thought I would tolerate him drinking another vampire's soul just because of his former status. Anyway, I allow clanless into the Elysium and permit thin bloods to traverse my domain and even help them reach Paternoster at St. Basil's. I employ a minister, and in my time as prince, I have never once called a blood hunt. I chose to believe it is because my people respect me and have committed no crimes that make it necessary. My point, Ransom, is that I am not going to simply punish you. I'm not going to punish you for simply associating with Julian Sim. The thing is, I really don't work for Julian. I should be easy and to remain polite and honest and convince Leto of this. That two of our best stats. I don't think we're going to do better than that. I try to feel out the prince's mood and respond appropriately as we talk. Is he honest or is he trying to bait me into confession? It's a risk to escalate the situation. How dare you? No. I stay calm and turn on the charm to persuade Leto that I'm not a threat. No, I don't work for Julian. Remaining on your best behavior before the Prince of Tucson, you're as straightforward as you possibly can be. You've worked alongside Julian Sim carrying water for the Camarilla when you were a fledgling. He recently tried to involve you in a number of schemes, but you've turned him down. Leto interrogates you with precision and cunning, but you stick to the truth, and he's forced to yield after only a few minutes, convinced of your honesty. The Prince of Tucson turns away from you to study a table littered with mementos, playbills, engine parts, a single cowboy hat, a Quran, a long curved knife still in its turquoise-studded sheath. He picks it up, testing its weight. Then he says, "Tell me what you know about Isla." Time to figure out how to survive the night. Oh boy! That's the woman we consumed. His old friend. After just getting a long speech about how he killed somebody for consuming another vampire. I lie right to Leto's face. Never heard of her? Manipulation plus subterfuge. I think our stats are kind of good for those. Ibeno Hakim Elder. I recite historical facts and hope that it throws Leto off the scent. Intelligence? Oh! An Assamite, I think. What of her? I try to gauge Leto's mood and see what he wants before saying too much, though I'll have to stay very calm to fool him. Composure plus awareness. I think those stats are okay for us. That one's not lying. Time to throw Julian under the bus and persuade Leto to think about him, not me. I heard Julian knew her. You'd have to talk to him. Manipulation plus persuasion. Oh, dear. Fuck. Oh. Maybe one of these two. Composure, awareness, manipulation, persuasion. What's that? Composure? Composure is good. Composure, awareness. All right, that's not bad. It was composure, awareness, right? Composure, awareness. Okay, manipulation plus persuasion. Manipulation, that's also very good. And then persuasion's maxed. Oh, so the bottom one is a bit of a better... we're sweating like a sinner in church. Why not? We'll see what he wants. We'll try to see what he wants. And ask him, I think. Whatever. Leto regards your deflection skeptically and lobs a few more questions your way, but you knock them aside too and ask further questions. Finally, he says, Ayla was a daughter of Akim and an elder of the 7th generation, embraced in Anatolia before the rise of the Ottomans. We met a few times in the early 20th century. He points at the photo taken on the Spanish Riviera. And then we drifted apart. What does she have to do with... You point vaguely towards the street somewhere outside, which Dove and Carlos are probably still watching with worried expressions as the courier they await does not arrive. Soon, Prince Leto says. He draws the curved knife, studies the blade, slides it back into its sheath. Then he steps forward so he's right in front of you. But first, I have a question for you, neonate, and it's important that you answer me quickly and honestly. He touches your face with a cool white hand. Do you know that Julian Sim consumed the soul of Ayla?
Did he? Did he really? No, I didn't know that, because it's not true. It was us. We did that.
Conflicting emotions crash through you. Some of them aren't your own. They're echoes of the Elder you devoured alongside Julian Sim. You remember that night. Julian's courage failed him. He encouraged you to finish the work he began. And you did. Julian found her and brought her to you, but he did not consume her. When I asked you to answer me quickly, Prince Leto says, I did not mean after a suitable period of stupefaction. I like you, Ransom, but that buys you less patience than you might imagine. If Julian did what you say, I don't know anything about it. I owe Leto nothing, not even the truth, but he'll get this technical truth if it makes him leave me alone. I know Julian. He wouldn't do that sort of thing. Also technically true, though I know it's because he flinched at the depravity of the act. Time to take a risk. I heard stories about what he did. Might be willing to share them if you offer me something in return. No. It's true! Oh, I don't know how I feel about lying to Leto. Oh boy. Maybe this one? If Julian did what you say? I don't... Never heard about that. Just as you start to speak, someone knocks on the door. Prince Leto ignores it, narrowing his eyes as he studies your face. You feel the power of his blood, and you remember the years spent hiding, afraid that your aura would reveal what you did. But the spiritual marks of the act have faded. After a moment, the Prince of Tucson takes a step back, his expression puzzled. The door bangs again. What is it? Found the last courier, Dove's voice, flat and hard. The Eagle Prince studies you for another moment. Then he opens his office door. I don't want to lie, but will he kill us? I don't know. I went so full into the Julian storyline that we're getting closer to the end of the game now. I think we have one final side quest to do. or one series, because they always come in triplets. But I think the closer to the end we get, the more there will be a few differences. She's dead, Dove tells Leto as she enters. We found her car 2 blocks away. She crawled into one of the safe houses but couldn't reach the phone. So that's all of them, Leto says. I'm here. Carlos is here. You couldn't even track down a single white, Leto snaps. Maybe we'll send Carlos in his Corolla if we have to, but not you. Did he talk? Dove asks, gesturing at you. She actually looks a little concerned for your well-being. Leto stares at you again. His gray eyes shimmering and his expression different from anything you've seen before. Thoughtful? Or he almost looks dazzled, like someone touched by the kindred's mental arts. But who could influence an elder? He shakes his head. Julian didn't consume Isla, the prince says. I'm sure of it. He stares right at you. And he didn't figure it out. Or did he? Maybe your feelings are preventing you from thinking clearly. That's how a lot of vampires meet their final deaths, you know. Whew. Whew. Huh, Dove says. Didn't expect that. So what do we do about Julian Sim? He's just some anarch, Leto says with a dismissive wave of his hand. But we still don't know where he's operating out of. Isn't that strange? He used to work out of Denver. Where's his lab now? Why don't we know? We have bigger problems, Leto says. We have to deal with the SI before we end up like Dallas or Flagstaff. Well, if you're not going to destroy this neonate, you might as well put him to work. You guys know that the Second Inquisition tried to recruit me at an AutoZone, right? Get in the zone with AutoZone? Pay me and I'll drive wherever you need. What can I do for the Camarilla? I think I like that one. This is getting more and more dangerous. I need to know what's going on. I am happy to help, Leto. I'm trying to not sound like I'm flirting. I do really want to help the prince. All right, that last one. It's got to be the last one. That's where we insulted the cops. Yeah. Eat shit pig. That was a very good little like sequence. Is that the right thing? It's not working. Oh no. Rest in peace. I hope you guys can hear me, right? The sound's working. Leto signals for Dove to close the doors, or close the double doors. His smile is warm and sincere, and his hand twitches as if he wants to reach for you. But once Dove turns back around, he's all business. Whew. That might be for the best with Dove here as well. The Second Inquisition... Whoops. Not me. The Second Inquisition has been quiet for years, Leto says. You may have noticed the recent downturn in your business as a courier ransom. That's because many in the local Camarilla were convinced that they had contained the threat. They started sending emails again, using phones. I did not. That's why the Viper is still standing, while the Elysiums in Flagstaff and Santa Fe are... dozen havens in Dallas are smoking ruins. At least, we think there are. There aren't enough couriers left to tell us what happened. I can stop the Second Inquisition. I can hit them so hard they leave us alone for half a century. But to do that, I need you to make 3 more runs for us over the course of the next month. These are strictly driving jobs. You pick things up or drop them off. I will pay you $5,000 per job, plus inducements for excellent service, of course. And you can deal with them in whatever way you see fit, but they must all be completed within... He looks at Dove. 26 nights, Dove says. She doesn't elaborate. Oh boy. Dang, Leto hiring? I know. That, the fucking, I can hit them so hard they leave us alone for the next half century. That's scary. I think he'll get to it later on. Maybe. But there's one thing he says that's just like, what the fuck are you capable of, man? Jesus Christ. It's terrifying. I'll see if it happens at some point during this game. If it doesn't, I'll probably forget to say what it is, but oh well. Before we discuss the work, you know that the Second Inquisition tried to recruit me, right? Might as well tell them this now. Why not? Oh boy. I see everything that happens in my town, Ransom, Leto says. Dove looks shocked. Can we trust him to... We can trust him to not work for an organization dedicated to the eradication of all the kindred, the prince says. Whew. I know, I see everything. Oh boy. I'm willing to work. I'll work, but I want something only the prince can give. Ooh, interesting. Okay, interesting. So we got 3 options. Money, info, or something only a prince can give. A cover-up. You need to make sure that I'm a nobody. I don't exist. I never did. The last one. It's not something special a prince can give. We're asking for not even like a fake identity. We're just asking for no identity at all or something. Yeah, an alibi. Yeah, but better than that. I'm tempted to go with the middle one. We don't need money. I think our car is fine. What is our car? Can we see? Do we have an inventory? Wealth? Vehicle damage? What is the vehicle? Oh, Nissan Frontier. Speed, meh. Maneuverability, durability. Oh, right. We got the big fucking truck. Oh, well. I hope there's no more street races. It's hard to race in a truck. Why did the dialogue say Kia? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we got the big truck. Information, yes. I'm glad that we have an understanding, Leto says. And again, this is just driving. If you want to get into trouble on the road, you're welcome to, of course. To answer your question, well, every invasion has a timeline, and I have gained access to some of Agent Donati's plans. She reaches Tucson on December 18, and if she has her way, my city will burn on the 19th. So where am I going, you ask? First, hey, Nest of Raven. I have to put the schedule on your phone. Oh no, yeah. Or if you're, yeah. I try to post it on Twitter every time as well. Somebody set up, I don't know how they did it. Somebody set up like a reminder on Twitch itself, which I guess if you use Twitch a lot, that's a good thing. I noticed I think it said 3 or so people at that. My cleric of Lathander wants to kill him. I want to not. So where am I going? Yes, first, the Toreador, the Espin, runs a nightclub in Dallas. The Prince of Tucson tells you. A courier was supposed to arrive there with information. From there, with information. He never made it. You need to succeed where your predecessor failed. Second. Oh man, I remember these missions. The first one, the Espin one, I must have fucked up on my run through because I thought it was boring as hell. But maybe I just didn't dig deep enough or anything. Research. Second, there is a ruined research facility just across the border in Utah. Jasper Knowles and Nvidia Cal were both involved in the research there. They did a good job stripping the place, but Knowles left an emergency cache in case the Inquisition should begin again. I need that cache. Finally, we need to destroy Riri Mouse. No! Dove screams. Other princes would twist their underlings' head off for that outburst. But Leto just raises a hand. His voice is stern, though, when he says, "If that monster awakens, ye will march across the desert and draw the attention of every hunter in the United States. Ransom, when you and Julian Sim were fledglings, you provided Riri Mouse with prey. I need you to transport some scanning equipment to his domain so we can find him." In case you don't remember, Riri Mouse is Dove's sire. He's ancient. He's so old that he's kind of gone demented in the head, and he's probably been tortured to the brink of insanity, so he is just a monster at this point. There's no talking to him left. There's nothing human there. But, monster or not, he created Dove, and there's always, whether you hate them or not, there's always a bit of a bond between the sire and the child. So, hence that. Yeah. Getting bit by Strahd is like the opposite of hot. Yeah. End of the game, end of the line. Even if he tries to seduce you, he will kill you. God, Strahd. Challenge rating 19. Oh, is he? I can't even remember. Is he 19? Yeah, Curse of Strahd, the whole game, that it is the DM's sole job to kill the party using Strahd. And it is the party's whole job to kill Strahd and not die. So Strahd will use any means necessary to kill you. Any. Literally any. The book makes that very clear. I think at one point even talks about, like, if the players start falling for him and he convinces them, like, no, I'm definitely just going to make you another vampire. It's okay. The club in Dallas. The same Dallas that the Second Inquisition just tore through. What sort of research facility are we talking about? I need you to be very clear. All of these are good questions. Can we just choose each one of them? I've literally told the DM exactly how I feel. Why not? We'll just start with the first and see if we can go all the way down. Yes, we can. Good. My background's a little fuzzy. Fuzzy Wuzzy had a bear. I don't know if I can change that or not. Is that better? That makes me look gray as fuck. Now I'm like fading out. I guess that's aight. Oh wow. Yeah, that'll do. That's okay. Looks good. Alright. Looks sci-fi. Let me see, where did I put the chat? There it is. I'm not gonna make a joke. My cleric would fold like a lawn chair. Oh dear. You're not driving into a literal war zone, Leto says. It's not like the SI has declared martial law. They have struck at a handful of havens, mostly fledglings who thought they could start using Facebook again. The Espin has kept their head down and remains safe. At least, we think she has, Dove says. You just need to drive there, pick up a suitcase full of recent data, and get back. It's too late. It's past. Okay. What sort of research facility are we talking about? Are you familiar with Biosphere 2? The old research facility about an hour north of here. The prince asks. Leto, he's a fledgling. He only knows about the Pauly Shore movie, Dove says.
There were several experiments in maintaining a self-contained ecosystem before Biosphere 2, which was more of a public relations stunt than anything, Leto says, ignoring the Nosferatu. The first was conducted by the United States government in the early 1970s in collaboration with a consortium of oil and natural gas companies. Once they understood the possibility of a climate apocalypse created by greenhouse gas emissions, they enticed undocumented immigrants with promises of employment, then experimented upon them medically and psychologically in a sealed environment as resources dwindled. They didn't learn anything, Dove says. Nothing a good war wouldn't teach you about the limits of human endurance and depravity, Leto says. But the usurpers who crept into Biosphere 0, as it's now called, learned a great deal. My old friend, Jasper, buried an emergency cache there, full of his discoveries. Now, it's an emergency. I want it.
Back to earbuds. Oh, back to no earbuds. Yeah, influences of Jax. She really does. I don't know, it's just something about Nosferatus that have a very, like, goblin-like feel to them. Except for in the next game that I'll play. There's a Nosferatu. Fuck off. Come on. There's a Nosferatu that definitely is more growly than goblin-y. Hello, Wild Fae. Hello, hello. Eye emojis loudly. Alright. Last question, Leto. I need you to be very clear about what I'm supposed to do around Riri Mouse. No offense, but elders are dangerous and unpredictable.
Isn't Riri Mouse technically a Methaluza? Dove asks. No. He's only 7th generation. Riri Mouse, Rassilon, Androvicus, Melachot, Absimillard, Zyla, Kane. At least, if you believe those Russian Bruja. Which I never will, Dove says.
Hey, Evac. Oh. Never mind. Yeah. For half a second there, I thought that was somebody that, like, once watched my ancient streams back when I was in college and had a different word. Different name. Because their name is kind of similar, but it's not the same. I know, yeah, that is word for word. Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, I can help you out with your Twitch custom graphics even more.
Ransom, the Prince of Tucson says. So in case you didn't get this, in Vampire the Masquerade, Cain is mythologically the very first vampire ever, the Generation 1. But it has been millennia, multiple millennia, since then. There's such a huge, like, hundreds, thousands, millions of years worth of time between 1, 2, 3. Sometimes, if you look at the 4th generation, I think Vlad the Impaler was like 5th generation. But almost none of the vampires actually believe that Cain is the Elder. They're like, it's bullshit. You're making it. You're getting scammers. Damn. Anyways. Ransom. What is this? Oh, let's start this back over.
Millions? Yeah, I think so. Right? I don't know how old the human species is. But Vampire the Masquerade makes it sound like it was like the time before time. I don't know, it might be Dinosaur Land or shit. You know, I'm not actually sure, Spoonie. That's a very good question. And it's hard because it doesn't actually answer it itself. And in the game, you can't quite tell if Cain was ever really real or not. So the Russian Bruja, there's a lot of mythology of that like coincides with the Bible in terms of, you know, the whole story of Cain and Abel. And then Cain being outcast and wandering the lands and stuff and becoming a vampire. But it doesn't really say when it happens. And all I know is that somewhere like in between these guys was probably very ancient Egypt. Some of like the very first Egyptian pharaohs were vampires, but I really don't know how far back it goes and how far back it actually goes, or if it's just legends of the people before them. The land before time, yeah. Neanderthal Nosferatu. Anyways, we need to know Riri Mouse's movements, and if we are to destroy him before he rises again, because if he does, the Second Inquisition will focus 100% of their forces here. Right now, they're applying only a little more pressure than usual, and we're in shambles. And that Nosferatu is getting restless. I need you to transport a ground-penetrating radar kit to the desert where he roams. Some of my people will be waiting, but you don't need to stay. Just drop off the equipment. Just drop off the equipment at our base. They're deep in the desert, though, so be prepared for a rough road. I guess, in that sense, it's nice to have our truck. It's probably the best off-roading vehicle you can get. Fuck the voice. Hello, Salem. So I will say, I mean, just from how I think of it, I think Dallas is the least interesting. Biosphere Zero is pretty interesting, and then the Riri Mouse one is much more interesting. It's been an hour and a half. I can do another hour to an hour and a half. So I don't know if I'll actually be able to finish one of these quests or not. But I can try. I keep getting the same fucking TikTok notifications. It's very annoying. Like, it won't show me the new ones, it just shows me the old ones. Oh well. I'm getting distracted. Is that a new code? No, it's not actually. I had this before. I think one of you guys bought it for me. Wouldn't killing Riri Mouse be a mercy since he's basically a feral monster? Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a dog with rabies, to be honest. He is just going to go on a killing spree to eat as much as he possibly can until he inevitably gets blown to pieces by the army intervening. We can do the Riri Mouse one. I think that is the most interesting. We need to destroy Riri Mouse before he rises and breaches the Masquerade. I'll help deal with him first. I want to get rid of that Riri Mouse first. Monster's a blight. I might even do more than drop off equipment to stop him. I'll help, yeah. Before he breaches the Masquerade. I don't know what more I'm going to do. I trust your judgment, Leto says, a tenderness in his voice that draws Dove's attention and suspicion. I'll have more information for you tomorrow night. Though,
And one last thing. Stay off the highways. The SI's contacts in the regular government and police agencies are all over them. That'll slow you down, but it's only a 2-night trip instead of one.
That seems to be the signal for your departure. Dove rises and opens the door. When you step towards the door, you feel Leto move towards you, then freeze. He wants you to stay. You know. Except he can't say it. And you have to work tonight. You can't see Dove, but you wonder if Dove or Leto suspect your interest in both of them. That might be a problem. What? My interest in Dove? I have made no advances towards Dove. Huh? Excuse me? I have been very nice and friendly to her. Have I made a mistake again? Have I been so nice and friendly that they mistake it as flirting? I was too friendly, was I? I know I have a problem of being very oblivious, but Dragon Age did that to me. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, video games are especially bad for it. If you're, like, too friendly with some, like, characters. I think I had that issue where I was, like, just trying to be friendly to Miranda every single time I played Mass Effect 2. And then at one point, Tali was like, I can't bang you because you got a thing going on. I do? That's the story of my life. Me and Zevran. Yeah, it's like I what? I did what? Oh no. Where to tonight? Let's see. Do we have any experience? My estate? Further secrets of the blood. Ah, blood. Oh, we need to feed. Let's do that first before we do anything else. Feed. Covenant? Nope. Yes. Alexander provides you with an old ghoul whose original regnant suffered final death. A vampire in Leto's court keeps him alive with her vitae in exchange for regular blood donations. You are soon sated. So I saw this. God, I fucking love Vampire the Masquerade. I need to play it! I feel like I just lose my whole life. Just role-playing fucking regular vampire daily drama. Anyways, I saw this whole discussion of people that were like, so how many ghouls would you need in order for you to never have to feed on another human being again? Because you can drink your ghoul's own blood, even though they feed off of your blood to keep them immortal. You can feed off of their blood, like I just did with this guy. But obviously, you need so much blood as a vampire that it will leave you... What was that? That it will leave you just fucking exhausted and sick for a week or two, probably. Losing that much blood, like, it's a lot of blood. I really don't know how long it takes to build back up your blood. What a weird cycle of blood sucking. Yeah, tabletop vampire. I know, I've worked on campaigns. I tried playing a little bit, but I didn't really understand the rules as well as I should have. I just got excited and jumped the gun, and all my friends were like, so, what are we doing? And I didn't really know. But I've learned a lot more now, so I want to get back into it. I'm working on a campaign. Anyways. Yeah. But I think you'd need, like, 6 or 7 of them to be able to rotate who you drink from each. You probably don't need to drink every single day unless you're using your blood a lot. Maybe a week or something? Too long, yeah. Let me fly so I can play with you. Red blood cells take between 4 to 6 weeks. Oh, shit. Oh, that is a long time. So you need to wait like 6 weeks before you can feed from the same person again. That's a long time. Yeah, so maybe you need like 6 or 7, or maybe even... God, maybe even like 12. Right? Because 12 would be 2 drinks a week. 2 drinks a week you could probably get away with. Normally. Unless you're using your blood a lot. But yeah, so I saw people talking about it. But Obviously, having a house with 12 people that are all your ghouls and are all sussy people, as ghouls are, it's probably going to draw some attention. So everyone's like, yeah, it's just not worth it, man. I don't know if you can get away with that. Used to donate when you're active duty. Oh, yeah. Oh, because you got out of duty. Hello, D. Anyways. You are soon sated. How sated? Down to 1. Gotcha. The good stuff. The good stuff's down to 0, but that requires killing somebody. Do we have any experience? I think it puts experience in our inventory. Yes, we do. Let's level up. What stats do we need? Oh, right. We got the fucking Wakizashi. That's nice. And the Arduino, a nice suit. We're good. Forgot about that. The Camarilla gives us so much fucking money. Return to the game. Yes, that's what I want. That's for blood cells. Takes 24 hours for volume to replenish. Oh, really? Okay. You just need that many for rent. Yeah, I know, right? Too much feeding would lead to it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could not do it very often. I think I had a friend that would donate blood like every single month, and he wasn't supposed to do it more than that. Maybe. Let's level up, right? Let's unlock the secrets of the blood. Protein. Oh yeah, let's get that maxed out. Let's max out the serpent. Why not? Oh, okay, it's not even going to say the cool stuff. We have everything. That's awesome. But let's go back. Get my Nissan, go somewhere else. Let's check our stats again. What can we max out? Manipulation, composure. We're getting to the end of the game now. We need a few maxed out stats, because I had stats that were like 1 dot away from being maxed out. And I thought that would be good. I had like, I don't know, manipulation and awareness, like how each of those are 1 dot away. And I used that, and I failed the check. And I was devastated. So we got to max out some more of these. Manipulation, composure. And let's try to get, I don't know, awareness, academics, technology, some of those stuff. Viper should be able to work. As you drive, you notice a Yamaha motorcycle following you. You've seen that kind of motorcycle before, when you were looking up local journalists in an effort to strengthen the Masquerade around you. You make a quick left turn and lose it for a block, but then it reappears again. The ultimate cuck. Oh no, it blocked the word cuck. I can allow that. Max them out. Oh yeah. At the next intersection, you turn fast, then suddenly back up into a space next to a fire hydrant. The Yamaha shoots past you, and its helmeted driver doesn't look your way. You don't like that. When you pull back into traffic, the bike doesn't reappear. You tune the Nissan's radio to the news. This is Melpomene Chen, and you are listening to Mel at Midnight. Big news out of Phoenix, where St. Basil's hospital director, Chance Corelli, has been arrested for her part in an opioid trafficking operation. As you know, listeners, St. Basil's has been a blister on the inner thigh of Phoenix for years, and as you also know, it's illegal to steal drugs from a hospital and sell them to criminals. We wish Director Corelli a long, long life behind bars for her terrible crimes. Will this change in leadership make St. B's any better? I doubt it. Prince Leto has a strict rule against anyone but him hunting on the Viper's dance floor, but this is a safe place to hone your social skills around the kindred and kine alike, as well as an opportunity to enjoy yourself for a few hours. You park your Nissan in the lot across the street and head inside. You're instantly enveloped in the pounding EDM. Prince Leto is visible in the private glass box overhead. Alexander is watching from one of the balconies, tracks you down almost instantly, but once he's sure you're not going to try to feed, He bids you adieu. Laws, what are those? From here, you can circulate freely up to the balconies, down to the dance floor, out onto the private and semi-private rooms, or up to the Elysium. Wherever you go, you'll be able to hone your social skills. All right. No! We can't max them out! Fuck! Oh, that sucks. That's not good. We can max out, we can max out our subterfuge, which is lying, I think. Could be useful. Yeah, we'll max that out, but it sucks that we can't max out manipulation or composure. So subterfuge it is. We got 9 XP left. Let's see what else we can bring up just a little bit. What is only like 1 dot? Nothing. Drive. Why not? Drive and athletics. One of those two. And strength and dexterity. Subterfuge is going for lying. Just lying, I think. I don't think it's seduction. It's probably persuasion, I'd imagine. Or just charisma. Yeah. Yeah. We can try... I think I kind of want to bring up drive a little bit. We'll see. Ported auto. Stay in the estate. Paragon fitness. Can we upgrade our drive here? No. No, we cannot. Oh, none of these cars are much better. I take a look at my Nissan. Oh, can we upgrade our own car? No. I meant, do we have wounds? Are we hurt? Oh god, we do. You are injured. Oh shit. All right, let's mend our wounds. Oh, that fucking ticked up the hunger. Can we spend some money, acquire some blood? All right. Paragon Fitness, can we improve our drive there? Yes, we can, okay. 9 experience points. So let's bring up drive. Well, we can max out drive. That might be good to have. Max out drive, and let's increase athletics a little. Okay. That's about all we can do. We hungry. Yeah. Mending your wounds takes up hunger, because you have to use some of the human blood in your system to be able to mend your wounds at like an accelerated rate. Yeah, and you will always have 1 point of hunger unless you feed on somebody to the point that they die. And then you get 0 points of hunger. Let's go. Alright, I pick up the ground-penetrating radar kit at the Viper and drive to the Camarilla station that monitors the Elder Nosferatu Riri Mouse. It's time to get rid of that motherfucker. Yeah, it ups the consumption. Right, because I mean, our own blood heals our wounds, but the vampires can just kind of like use it better, but it uses up faster. Oh, when did we get hurt? I have no idea. I don't know. That's what I was wondering as well. That kind of sucks because we used up double money there. Oh, well. Chapter 8. There are 11 chapters. So, these 3 missions and then the final episode, I believe. Chapter 8. Riri Mouse. Tucson, Arizona, night of November 30th. Sunrise is at 7:06 a.m. You pick up Elena at Covenant, then drive to the Viper. Oh, my voice. It's been a while since I've talked for this long. As you drive, you tune Nissan's radio to hear the news. This is Melpomene Chen, and you're listening to Mel at Midnight. Ugh. Do the dead walk among us? One man says yes. Greg Halden, professor of philosophy at the University of Arizona, claims that he has uncovered an elaborate conspiracy of computerized deception stretching back decades that has allowed criminals, illegal immigrants, and scions of the moneyed international elite to establish new identities as the recently deceased. Professor Halden plans to unveil his findings once his Freedom of Information Act request gains him access to a federal database that has tracked immigration and deaths for the past 65 years. That could be bad for the Masquerade. Yes, Riri Mouse. I know that's not how it's supposed to be said, but I've been saying it like that for so long that I can't say it any other way. No, that's not how it's supposed to be moused. I think it's like Ray Mouse or something. Ramus. I think it was Sadie in the chat once said that it's like Old English for flying mouse. Ray Mouse, yeah. Which is a bat. You have a long trip ahead of you, and the light has barely faded in the west by the time you roll into the nightclub parking lot. You wait for a moment until you remember that the guy whose name you never learned, the one with the Ed Hardy shirts, was the Second Inquisition spy. He ended up under Leto's knife, answering questions until he couldn't talk anymore. But the Eagle Prince preferred your answer to his, so you're still driving around. You head inside. The Viper isn't open yet, and its crowds, along with the regular lights and shining, and without its crowds and with the regular lights shining on the bars and dance floor, it looks tacky and cheap. Alexander's behind one of the bars. He waves you over with an archaic beckoning gesture. Oh, whoops! So probably like. Rear mouse. Rear mouse. What? Rear mouse. Rear mouse. Rear mouse. Interesting. You tried to explain it the first time. You ignore it. Creepy old prick, Alan mutters. You have been warned to stay off highways. Yes? Alexander asks, and got rid of your phone. You shrug. You're here for information on the job, not so Alexander can interrogate you. And the job doesn't sound easy. I'm supposed to be picking up some ground-penetrating radar, you say? Alexander points to a pair of heavy plastic storage containers on a foldable push dolly. You and Elena load the containers onto your Nissan. You're delivering to a motel across the border in California, Alexander says. He tosses you an old film canister. Inside, address, passcodes, snapshots of your contact. Just delivering? You ask. You have a good relationship with the Camarilla now, and you know how valuable their continued goodwill can be. Unless Prince Leto tells you otherwise, Alexander says. Leto won't be able to contact me, but the ghoul just walks away. Rare mouse. Rare. It's a rare mouse. That is a weird name. You're heading west this time, just over the California border, to the lawless region that was once called the Anarch-Free States. It's a frustrating drive, since you could blast down Route 8 through Yuma in just a few hours, but that road will be crawling with cops. Instead, you'll have to drive northwest to avoid the Second Inquisition, skirting Phoenix before you wind through artificially irrigated farm country worked by migrant labor until you hit the desert. So you listen to them. Hoo hoo. The halfway point is just nearly empty sprawl for miles and miles. You'll have to be careful as sunrise approaches so you don't find yourself stranded. You circle back to the most important question. Where do you shelter during the day? You can't make the whole trip in one night on back roads, and the Camarilla is in such chaos that they can't tell anyone you're coming. Wrapping yourself up inside your truck is possible, but it takes skill to secure oneself and cunning to know where to hide so you won't be disturbed. Because if you're disturbed, there goes eternity. And you know you can't just stay at the first motel you see now. The Inquisition is everywhere, and though you're loaded down with false license plates and fake ID, anything unusual will draw attention. Trouble here will expose you to the sun and almost certainly draw enough notice to violate the Masquerade. Can we be stranded with Leto? Wink, wink. Hi, traitors. Interesting, I send Elena and her Datsun to secure a place. I'll have to look like a calm and composed leader to get her go into danger first. What is our composer? God, I can't speak anymore. Composure plus leadership. Composure, pretty good. Leadership, maxed. All right, that's good. I don't think we have any survival. Not even going to read that one. I'll head to the wilds outside of town and sink into the earth to avoid discovery. That'll be easy. Backup plan, fine. That one cannot fail. Maybe we'll do it. Wits plus streetwise. Don't think we have much streetwise. No, none. None at all, actually. Not even little. I'll use one of my fake IDs and bluff my way through a check-in at a mid-range motel. A few easy lies will keep the Inquisition off my trail. That could go well. Those are both maxed. I believe. Almost. And yes, okay. Might do that one so that we don't use up the blood sinking ourselves into the sand. My vampiric charm, no. Should be easy to throw some money around, stay in someplace nice. I'll have to rely on charm and persuade people not to pay too much attention to me. Charisma plus persuasion. That should work, right? Charisma plus persuasion? Charisma, persuasion. Yeah. Alright, this one, I think. Unnatural charm. What's awareness? No, why not? We got money. We got charisma. We got persuasion. We'll do it. There aren't a lot of high-end hotels where you're going, but your research turns up some fancy B&Bs. They'll do. You consider your next idea. You pass all sorts of crummy motels until you pull into a tasteful little B&B. You throw on your suit so that you look the part and head inside. This is nice. Not ostentatious, but quiet. A good place to recover from a drug habit, maybe. You chat with a night clerk at the front desk and put them at ease, then offer a generous tip for a quiet place to stay. The clerk is apparently used to late-night visitors and happy to accommodate you. You're shown into a cozy suite and handed a personalized card in case you need anything. The process is entirely civilized. You double-check the blinds, hang up some blankets in front of the windows, and go to sleep in the bathtub. As you get back on the road heading west, you scan your rear-view mirrors for signs of pursuit. But it looks like you're clear. You head for the deep desert. The charisma and persuasion worked out. I hate that I slurred both of those words. Oh well. Jasper talking in Uwu speak. Traveling back into this desert feels like traveling back in time. You can almost smell the carpeting in Julian's old geo-tracker, the mold around the water bottles you left in the desert so Riri Mouse would stay under the sand and leave everyone alone. But now the Elder is waking up, and his rise will draw the entire Second Inquisition down on you. You check your maps, then turn off the main highway. Mesas rise up on either side of the road, black against the stars.
You were expecting some kind of scientific way station, maybe just tents and trailers, but your address points you to a Desert View motel. Its neon vacancy sign flashes in the darkness. There's a payphone on the road just outside the hotel. You know every payphone in Arizona, but not in California, and you instinctively memorize this one's location. But the receiver is off the hook, and there's blood on the outer case. Trouble. I reach for the canvas bag holding my sword. Someone might be hurt. Alert for threats, I slow down and check for casualties. I'm not getting wasted out here. I'll keep moving and circle back once I'm sure there's no trouble. What about my Camarilla contacts? Are they okay? I need them to meet me to finish this job. I scan for anyone I recognize. Let's grab that sword. We got a sword. We're good with swords. Why not? Northman, you say? Mothman? You unzip part of the canvas bag so the hilt of your wakizashi protrudes. Then you have to swerve when you see a body in the road. You skid to a halt, one hand on the hilt of your sword, but there's no one around except for whoever was lying in the asphalt. Still not leaving the Nissan, you lean across the truck's cabin. Oh my god, my back is sore. I didn't realize till I stretched. Oh! Fuck. Wow. Oh no, it's not the chair. It's from the deadlifts yesterday. I have a very nice chair. Makes me happy. Yeah, that kind of sore. No, it's muscle soreness. It's like I was sitting still, so I didn't feel it, but I did a little stretch, and I was like, oh, my back is missing. Still not leaving the Nissan, you lean across the truck's cabin to examine the body through the passenger window. Male, middle-aged, disemboweled by knife or claw. Ransom doesn't really care, only about the job. How's it feel? Oh, I see. Then an engine roars to life in the parking lot. 2 headlights illuminate your truck, but the vehicle approaches slowly and indirectly, with the stately grace of someone unconcerned with the blood in the streets. A 1925 Rolls-Royce Phantom 1 coupe rolls up, and the mirrored windows roll down. Now that's a fancy fucking car. I gotta look up what that looks like. 1925 Rolls-Royce Phantom 1. Oh! Jesus! That thing. That is... God damn. Wow. Ransom. It's wonderful to finally see you, Prince Leto says. We've had some complications. Yeah, that's like a probably... I mean, if it still exists from 1925, multi-million-dollar car. But I'm sure even when it was made, it was probably the equivalent of like over $1 million or something. I mean, I've let out a sound at the car. That is a fancy car. The Rolls is stuffed with mechanical equipment. Like, Leto is going to build another, slightly smaller luxury car out here. What are those thick wires for? Holding up an antenna? And there's something wrapped in tarp on the roof. Another car rolls down the street. When you turn to look, you think you see the brake of Elena's Datsun, but you can't be sure. Okay, that's good. There are a few other cars parked here, including a Fisker Ocean, a brand new electric SUV, overpriced in your estimation. Riga is perched atop the hotel's neon AAA sign. The eagle watches you incuriously as Prince Leto steps out of his coupe. He's abandoned his white linen in favor of a black diesel jacket, heather gray tee, jeans, and heavy boots. He looks fantastic, just obnoxiously good. Bye-bye, D. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you could make it.
Good luck with a very subtle corpse car.
Riga warned me that my people were under attack, Leto says as he drags the corpse away from the street to join a dozen others. Some are naked and filthy. 2 have decayed into husks. I was, as you can see, too late.
Oh, definitely that last one. I'm glad you're okay. I carefully put my hand on his shoulder. Whew!
I missed the excitement, he says.
He lets your hand linger for a moment, then turns your way. Oh, we gotta go for it. Come on. Oh, God, we kiss him. Doesn't work. Ooh!
You pull him close. His face and hands are cold, but that doesn't surprise you. His strength is terrible. Irresistible, you realize, as he pulls you close and brushes his hand against your face. But his kiss is gentle. When he pulls away, though, it's like he's looking at someone else entirely. He blinks and steps away. And you both remember that you're surrounded by the dead corpses of his people. That was Riri Mouse's doing, the Eagle Prince says. He called creatures out of the wasteland to attack my people. And there are always more such servitors. And this work is complex. My fear now is that they killed my technical contact for this operation.
Jasper, I'm sending you my bill. Daddy Leto, yes! I'll be honest, I didn't think that would work. Technical contact, you say?
A specialist on ground-penetrating radar technology, Prince Leto says. Mine is a small court ransom, and I do not employ every kind of expert, so I must look elsewhere. But I'm told he's the best.
I am. Julian Sim says. But if I knew he was going to be here, I wouldn't have come. Ooh, Julian. Oh! Fuck. Oh, that hurts. Oh, dear. He points at the corpses. What happened to all your guys, Leto? Oh, he hates us. Oh, God. Ooh, ow, ooch. If I knew he was going to be here, I wouldn't have come. Oh, no. I didn't get that line last time I played the game. He was happy that I was here. Oh, ouch. Oh, my God. Is that a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine? Julian asks. Dressed in a blue-gray coverall, like when he carried water for the Camarilla, he pops the hood of Leto's car and starts poking around. He's obviously trying to ignore you.
Ah, Mr. Sim, you're the one plotting to bring down the Masquerade from behind his laptop. Give me one good reason why I should not destroy you, Anarch.
You need to stop saying destroy, man, Julian says. It lets everyone know you're a vampire. That goes double for you, Leto, since you have a Dracula accent.
I do not have a Dracula accent. Yes, it is a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. I learned to fly before I learned to drive.
Oh, that's fascinating. So Leto built this fucking car, and he put a plane engine in the car. Fascinating. Is that right? What is a Rolls-Royce Merlin? Did Rolls-Royce build planes? No? No, it looks like this is a car engine. It's a weird fucking engine. Oh, yes. It is. It is an aircraft car. It's okay. It's an aircraft engine specifically built for cars. Fascinating. Yeah. 27-liter, 12-cylinder from World War II. So that's a Giga engine, a V12. Wow. Anyways. What is this exchange? I just wanted some smoochy stream time. First, Julian says, you need me to set up the imaging equipment to find Riri Mouse. I want to stop Riri Mouse as badly as you do, which is why I'm here. And I really do know what I'm doing, unlike this Setite. Second, have you ever heard of a dead man's switch? Every 2 weeks, I type in a code that prevents 50 gigabytes of Masquerade violations from going right to the LA Times and research institutions around the world. Third, you don't get to hear the third reason, because something rushes out of the desert, silent as an owl, knocks you onto the asphalt, and leaps onto Prince Leto. He hurls it away, clipping Julian so the Banu Hakim falls back against your Nissan. The thing lands on its feet and knuckles. You almost have time to look at it, but then it rushes at the three of you again, still moving so fast it's only a gray blur in the night, outlined by the hazy neon. Oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I misspoke earlier. I don't think Riri Mouse is Dove's sire. He used to be like one of the most respected Nosferatu. I think it's Riri Mouse's child that is Dove's sire. So in a way, he's like her grandfather. My bad. I say that because of this interaction. I remember it. The gray blur leaps. I protect Leto. Of course I do. Of course I protect Leto. The Eagle Prince dodges the creature's fists, unsure of what he faces. You rush in between him and the blur, sword drawn. But its speed is incredible. Huge fists hammer your ribs, knocking you back into your Nissan's passenger side door. Metal buckles into your ribcage crunches sickeningly, but you stay on your feet. You're quite brave, Ransom, the Eagle Prince says. Then, Prince Leto drives his hand through the monster's back so his clawed fingers burst out of its chest. The moment it's restrained, you recognize your attacker. The White, from when you came across that migrant family just after your old CRX broke down. For the last time, you recognize the hideous face of an Nosferatu, and the dead, empty eyes of a vampire, consumed by its beast. Yeah, I need some Scooby Band-Aids. Hello, old friend, Prince Leto says. You two are acquainted? Julian asks, keeping his distance as the Nosferatu hammers ineffectively on the prince. Modane is the child of Riri Mouse, Leto says, a scholar, a visionary. You would have liked him, Julian. His shadow arts helped create the Tucson Elysium, but he ran afoul of Jasper Knowles, and the warlocks stripped him of his soul and turned him into this. All this time, he has been able to elude my second in command, Dove. And now here he is. Unfortunately for him. This is Dove's sire. The prince grabs Modane's spine just above the heart and rips it out. The White topples forward, and all three of you back away as it rots like a sped-up version of a rat left in the sun. In seconds, nothing remains but corruption and the reek of death. Leto cleans himself up in one of the empty motel's bathrooms. How badly did that hurt us? Oh, you are severely injured. Gave us 2 crunches. Oof. Oof, oof. Double oof. Mark me down as scared and horny. It will be done soon, he says. We'll rest during the day, then assemble the equipment tomorrow evening. Julian starts to point at you and argue, but the prince's voice permits no dissent.
Let's see our relationships. I don't think we've checked those out in a while.
Oh! Julian's relationship, 0. Terrible. Oh, he hates us. Oh, he hates us. He hates us. Oh, dear. Oh, oof. And our Inquisition violations are not good. Yeah, I know. A blow like that, breaking our rib cage. Sorrows. Sorrows. Prayers. You spend an hour dragging corpses into the motel's storage shed. It's filthy business, not what you signed up for at all. No one is left alive, and you have no idea where Elena is, though you've seen her Datsun. The Desert View Motel saw long-term use by Leto's people, meaning one room is equipped for vampires. Leto bites his lip. His interest is so... What? Wait, really? Leto bites his lip. His interest is so obvious that only Julian, lost in schemes and calculations, could manage to miss it. But it's not like you can... It's not like there's anything you can do with the Asimite here. Leto bites his lip. Damn, Leto. I know, I like Elena, but I really don't trust her. I was just thinking about that before I played this. If I had to pick a ghoul, I definitely would have picked Vanny, who I picked the last time I played this. But I really like Elena as a character more. She's much more interesting, got a lot more going on. But also, I don't trust her at all, and Vanny would do everything I said exactly when I said it. More boring? Sure, yes, but exactly what you want in a servant. You dream of flying over the desert, matching lines on maps to sand-covered roads far below. The roar of engines, the smell of gasoline. Not dreams, memories. Isla stirring in your blood. When you wake up the next evening, Prince Leto is watching you from the armchair beside your cot. His fingertips steepled. His expression is kind, maybe even yearning, but he's still calculating what to say.
Ransom. Before you became a courier,
he was following me around and complaining about my geo-tracker, Julian said, stepping out of the shower in a cloud of steam. He tries to smile, but his expression is hard and cold. Sensing the younger vampire's rage, Prince Leto drops his question. He casts a sympathetic glance your way as he crosses to the window and opens the metal louvers installed to keep the light out. Leto peers outside. He's looking east again. You wonder if the beckoning, the mysterious call that's pulling all the elders to the Middle East, has touched him too.
There appears to be a young woman investigating my car, he says.
Oh, thank God, Julian says. Food.
That would be rude, Leto says. She's Ransom's retainer.
I don't care she's his mother, Julian whines. I'm hungry and I hate the canned stuff.
Ransom, Leto says. Retrieve your servant.
In 5 minutes, you and a skeptical-looking Elena join a sullen Julian and the Eagle Prince around your Nissan. Servant. Oh, hello, Mandy. Hello. I'll post the video when I'm done, don't worry.
I can feel him moving out there, Leto says,
staring off to the south. I might only do like half an hour more. See.
He knows we're planning something. He knows I've wanted to destroy him for years.
You should have destroyed him before Ransom and me fed all those Mexicans to him, you prick, Julian says, fiddling with the zipper of his coverall. Elena laughs, and then realizes Julian isn't joking.
Julian, the Eagle Prince says, you will locate the Riri Mouse or the equipment Ransom brought. Once we find him, we will strike shortly before dawn. I have prepared a stake sufficient to pierce even his old hide.
That easy, huh?
Julian says, No, but
your plan is ridiculous, convoluted, and dangerous, Julian says.
And you have a better one.
Absolutely, Julian says. We use Stonehenge to teleport him to Mesopotamia.
As I get older, Leto says, I find that I have less patience, not more.
Haven't you been following the news? Julian snarls, as if Leto were the only one who sounded ridiculous. Those monoliths that no one can explain? They had a guy from the university claiming that they were a Victorian hoax. You remember that from the radio.
I know a great deal about the history of this land, Leto says. The pre-Columbian people here did not make stone henges.
Yes, Wyvern. It is both a call to their death, but also a call to their ancestors, because, I mean, all human life kind of came from that rough area, right? Whatever that little valley was. In Vampire the Masquerade, since humans came from that area, so did vampires. Yeah, biblical times. No, you're never reading in too much. Not Lilith? Huh? What'd I miss? Lilith, I think Lilith is like a legit demon in Vampire the Masquerade. I don't know if she's a vampire. She does exist, but that gets like deep into the weird lore and myths that I haven't read. Hey, Gani, welcome back. But yeah, so the older a vampire gets, and by older I mean like centuries, and especially the older their generation, the stronger their urge to return to the Middle East, especially like the Valley of Gehenna, I think it's called, which is an area near Israel. The stronger that urge grows, and it's speculated that there is some war, like a kind of secret hidden war going on between the ancient vampires. Hello, John! No, I'm not. I'm using, I'm actually using Streamlabs background replacement, because I have a little green screen behind me right now. And Looter, hello, hello. Oh, so many people, hello. Yeah, so it's believed that all of like the ancient vampires are there fighting amongst each other. And they're using their vampire powers to subtly call the other members of their clan to come help them in this strange ancient war. What are the Sabbat? That's a very good question. The Sabbat are, I think, in modern times believed to mostly be dead, but they were an older, I guess, a rival clan to the Camarilla. There was the Camarilla, the Sabbat, and then the Anarchs, who were kind of their own thing, and then there was just freeloaders. But the Sabbat were people who very heavily believed in all of the Cain mythology, and thought that vampires should rule the world, and did not give a shit about the Masquerade, and would just feed like crazy. Thank you, John. Yeah. It's the Elgato green screen because it's very convenient to fold up and store away. Kind of like Beowulf Grendel, or supposedly grandkid of Cain. Really interesting. Cain is ruined to be the first vampire. The mark of Cain, also known as the mark of the beast. In the vampire world, the vampirism would be the mark of the beast. Yeah, in a way. I mean, that is why they call all of the vampire urges inside of you the beast. There is no actual beast. When the vampires in this game talk about the beast, they're talking about like the literal bestial side of them, the kind of curse that makes them do things. Where'd you get the green screen? Is it super big? It is a little shorter than my arms spread out to either side. I think I just got it on Amazon. I could not bring the one you got me. I'm very sorry. It was too big. I feel very bad. English translation. Yeah, Christianity leaked in there. Yeah. I can't get distracted though. I don't have, my voice probably doesn't have much longer. Yeah, you remember that from the radio. I know a great... Oh yeah, did not build Stonehenge. No, Julian says, but the Sabbat did. Leto starts to bare his fangs. Leto has been quite patient so far. It's like Julian is deliberately goading him. What the hell? You know, why not? Why not? We'll get a good answer from the game itself, since you guys asked the question. What are the Sabbat? What is my hair? What is my hair? I can't get distracted. Yeah. What the hell are the Sabbat? All I know is that everyone seems to be afraid of them, and now everyone says they're gone. A degenerate sect of vampires, Prince Leto says. The Sword of Cain, Julian says. They've embraced their beasts and rejected the primacy of the Masquerade, Leto says. Organized themselves into pharaoh packs, aped the rituals of the church. Diablerists. The word hits you like a shaft of sunlight. Reminder, diablerie, diablerists, diablerie is the act of consuming another vampire. My hair is actually, it is starting to curl a lot at the bottom. It's kind of funny. I'll see how it gets. I did more than that. They had a sacred cause, to destroy the eldest vampires before they awoke and devoured their children, Julian says. The Camarilla saw only the ravening hordes. Shock troops created to claim territory. The leaders of the sect were far worse, inhuman mystics and philosophers. Far worse, yes. Were far worse, inhuman mystics and philosophers. And before the beckoning drew elders to the Middle East, probably looking directly at Julian, Leto as he says that, and encouraged the Sabbat to chase after them. He continues, Sabbat sorcerers were experimenting with kinds of blood sorcery that even the Tremere couldn't imagine. They understood how to, well, connect two places. Go on, Leto says, eyes narrowed. They built something out in the desert. A copy of a place that existed in the Middle East, forgotten for millennia. A fragment of a ruined city. The places are the same, do you understand? The stones out there, Leto says, pointing to the deep desert. And the stones in this city are the stones of a city in the Middle East. Exactly, Julian says. And with a few words and a bit of blood, you can move between them. Or move something between them, like Riri Mouse. Why fight something that's half a god? Dump him on the Sabbat on the other side of the world. Let them deal with him. An interesting idea, Leto says. So you'll... No, Leto says. Ransom, please double-check the equipment. I want to leave in 15 minutes. Oh, bye, Mandy. Lunchtime over. My water's running low. So I think the stream time is as well. Yeah, their bantering is great. Julian whines as he's organizing the ground-penetrating radar equipment, which looks like a lawnmower with a tablet on top. Your scientific acumen means that you'll handle calibration of antenna, while Elena checks inventory. You try to ignore how hungry you are. We're not hungry, are we? Well, two. Okay. Little hungry. Leto, whose brain does not quite reach the radar age, just checks the extra gas cans while casually deflecting Julian's arguments. Finally, the prince holds up a hand and says, Enough. Your idea is interesting, but first we need to find Riri Mouse, and to find them we need to make sure we are safe out in the desert. Why are you worried? Julian says. You can just sink into the dirt. I am going to sink into the dirt if you do not stop. You tune out the arguing. You've been thinking about that too. You might be away from the motel for more than one night. Elena brought plenty of food and water, but the desert sun will turn you to ash. And it's time to go. Well, I too will just sink into the dirt. Fuck. Will I? That will take a tick of hunger, and I know for a fact at the end of this encounter we're going to need a few of those. Oh, I gotta approve that. There we go. We don't have intelligence. Resolve plus drive. Do we have good resolve? No. No, we don't. Never mind. These two would just stop bickering. They could look for a rear mouse and find cover from the sun. Wherever I stop, I persuade the vampires to work together. Charisma, manipulation plus persuasion. That's pretty good. We'll try it. Why not? You repack the equipment once you're sure the antenna works. Leto and Julian take the lead in the Prince's Rolls Royce, which crunches over the rough terrain with the ease and arrogance of a Land Rover, while you and Elena follow in your Nissan and serve as rear scouts, and as an emergency vehicle in case a century-old luxury car breaks down. Oh, I didn't mean to scroll. Keep the chat going. Oppression. You make several stops. Each time, Julian and Prince Leto are arguing. It's not about what to do with Rear Mouse either. It's petty bickering that masks the very real possibility that, after this necessary collaboration is over, one of them might end up as a pile of ash. Each time you intervene, calming them down, soothing over difficulties. They're not going to be friends anytime soon, but you can't have them snapping at each other like dogs in a kennel. You have work to do out there. After several conversations, you get them to focus on the immediate goal ahead of you. And when the Rolls-Royce stops an hour before dawn, Leto looks pleased when he says, "We're going to start here tomorrow night." He's standing next to a crushed plastic water carton. The rocky ground looks churned and uneven. "And we've even found an abandoned mine nearby where we can rest for the day." This time you follow the Rolls-Royce, stopping after a few minutes in front of some rusted barbed wire. Grabbing everything you need, you get past the wire and the warning signs until you're staring at a deep mine shaft. Julian lowers a rope. Hot toddy. Maybe. Guess we just have to get between them. Oh no. Anything but that. I think I've only ever had a hot toddy once. Julian lowers the rope. Yep. In 5 minutes, the three of you are in a tunnel that leads away from the mine shaft, providing you with total cover. Elena remains above. You're in so early that Leto and Julian even have a few minutes to argue about which plan to enact before the sun rises. Damn, you sleep with Leto's arm flung protectively over you, and awaken to an aching and acute hunger that crowds out other thoughts. But when you approach the Rolls-Royce, you find Leto and Julian seated on a blanket, evidently in fine spirits. They're holding stainless steel mugs as they watch the last purple streaks fade from the western sky. "Ah, ransom," Leto says, holding up a mug. "Have you tried this concoction?" Julian hands you a mug. You smell the blood. Sip it. A vague chemical taste, different from other preserved bloods you've sampled. Stronger. You slam it down, and your throat burns for a moment, but you feel the blood invigorate you. No, I don't. "I almost regret what happened to Dr. Cow," Leto tells Julian. "This blood is her creation." "More or less," Julian says. "We've had some trouble sourcing the breed of sheep she used." Leto studies the blood. It looks pitch black in the twilight. "Then it's safe." "Safer than going hungry and losing your mind out there," Julian says. Leto raises an eyebrow at that answer and glances dubiously at the blood. Gay screeching. "He's moving more and more," Leto says as Julian preps the scanning equipment. "How can you tell?" the Assamite asks. "You're no sorcerer."
I sleep in the earth, Julian, Leto says. I am old. There are things you learn. Once you're certain that you would have been dead had you lived an immortal life. Riri Mouse will awaken soon, and begin his long march east. And drag every hunter in the world after him like a fucking Godzilla movie, Julian says. Riga drifts lazily overhead, catching the last of the thermals. But that's why you hired the best, Julian says. And even if you didn't know who it was before I showed up. He's watching the tablet attached to the scanning device. The screen shows maps of your and Julian's path through the desert back in 2007 or so. We're going to start by getting a map of this whole acre, Julian says. What am I doing? Leto says, frowning at the screen. He's obviously not happy letting Julian take the lead. I want you and your magic bird to find the helicopter I heard last night and make sure we're not being hunted. And Ransom... Oh, we're not good at any of these. What kind of witch's brew is this? Mend your wounds. I'm torn about mending my wounds. Because that'll tick our hunger up. 2 ticks of hunger? Will that be okay? Our wounds are pretty bad. Please only take 1 tick of hunger. Oh, 1 health level. Only one. Fuck. Oh. Ditch dagger. Strength plus athletics. I don't think our strength is shit. Our athletics is good, though, right? No, it's mediocre. Okay, dex, intelligence, strength, and wits. Do we have any wits? No. Dex. Oh, I went back to the fucking... different song. Keep switching. Okay, so wits is mediocre. Strength. Intelligence, dex. Okay, dex and what? Dex and technology. Oh, maybe, actually... Okay, dex. I think dex and technology is really our best one. Yeah, we're too dumb for any of this shit. I'll handle the scanning. I'm familiar with the technology, nimble enough to keep the rickety pushcart pointed the right way. Prince Leto heads up into the hills, following his eagle. Julian watches him go, then his face goes blank, like he's about to attack. You've seen it before, and you instinctively tense up. But then his expression changes. You know that look too. He has a scheme. What? You say. You've disappointed me, Ransom, he says. And I'm pretty sure that even though Leto isn't thinking clearly around you, the rest of the Ivory Tower cronies are, and they'll dust you the first chance they get. You've been impressed by Leto, especially compared to the other princes you've met, who serve only themselves. Elena, Julian barks. Move the Rolls-Royce next to the Ransom's Nissan. I don't want them spaced out. Elena shrugs and does what she's told. Then Julian turns to you and says, You know you can exploit Leto's delusions, right? What? Remember when Leto asked you if I consumed Isla? The Assimate says with a self-satisfied laugh. How in the hell could you know about that? I'm genuinely curious, actually, especially if it means I can learn about holes in Viper's security. Why not? Why not? Leto thinks he's merciful, but he's not, Julian says. He also thinks he's keeping up with the times, but he's not. The Prince of Tucson made an obvious mistake, asking you if I consumed Isla, but not asking you if you did. And he's starting to make another, don't you see? He thinks you're Isla, or that some significant fraction of her survived in you. Julian's just mad. Yeah, maybe. I know he has, not even answered it at all. For a second, the California desert fades and is replaced by one that looks almost the same on the other side of the world, but it's just a memory. You know it. Oh, you know, because it's night there, too. You shake your head.
But that's impossible, Julian says. Well, it does seem like some part of Isla survived in me, right? But that's impossible, Julian says. There are stories that the really ancient vampires, the Methaluzas, could survive even diablerie and take control of their hosts. But Isla wasn't that old or powerful. Still, think about what you could do if Leto believed you were Isla reborn. He loved her, you know. Are you recommending that I seduce the Prince of Tucson? I mean, I am going to. What you're proposing is repellent, even by the standards of our kind, Julian. That might work, but to what end? Interesting. Where to begin? Or the first one, why not? I absorbed the vampire's dead love in my D&D game. Go with it. In bad faith, Julian. Yes, Julian says. And then we... He stops. You hear helicopter blades. Don't move. Elena, stay in the truck. Julian closes his eyes, and you feel the power of his vitae. Then, nothing. He's using the same sort of power that hides the Viper's rooftop from Elysium. The sound of the helicopter fades. The color drains from the vehicles, the desert, even the stars. The unmarked helicopter passes overhead. When it disappears behind a mesa, Julian relaxes and the stars come back out. We have work to do before Leto gets back, he says. You get to work pushing the cart around while handling the radar system. The idea is to scan the periphery, then spiral in towards the center, all while Julian makes records on his laptop. The work is technically complex, but not beyond your ability. After several hours of meticulous work, you soon have a basic map of the ground beneath your feet. Well, at least it kind of worked. I'm getting big hungry. Probably only 10 more minutes for me. Whip out the Gary Oldman charm. I have crossed oceans of time to find you. Do Zoom games. Start playing. Doing a hunter. Oh, interesting. Hunter the... What is it? Hunter the something. It's not Hunter the Apocalypse, because that's Werewolf the Apocalypse. No, not that quote. It's my weakness. Oh, the I have crossed oceans of time. Hunter the Reckoning, that's it, yeah. I looked briefly into Werewolf the Apocalypse, and it's strange. It makes werewolves seem like they are stronger than vampires in that world. But also, they're so... I don't know, the games cross over in such strange ways that it's hard to include a lot of them. Like, it's hard to play Werewolf the Apocalypse while keeping the Vampire the Masquerade player book canon. So I just stick to Vampire the Masquerade because I like it the most. Everyone was street sharks. Riga drifts overhead, huge and black against the moon. A few minutes before Leto reappears. Well, Julian asks. I spotted a state police vehicle and followed it back to an old building covered in, I think, satellite dishes. The abandoned long-line microwave tower network, Julian says. He studies his tablet, then says, the good news is that we're able to generate a good map of Riri Mouse's movements. He's heading south using the same tunnels he used when Ransom and I were feeding him. So you know exactly where he's going. I wonder what the Second Inquisition knows about his movements, Leto says. I noticed that we have not encountered more of Riri Mouse's servitors. I'd love to stomp a few SI goons. Safer to deal with the SI before... Is it safer to deal with the SI before we confront Riri Mouse? Why not ask, right? Is it safer? I kind of like to give Leto here. I'd kind of like to give Leto here a horse and a sword and let him just tear through an entire police barracks, Julian says. Tell me that wouldn't be fun. One thing I learned from Napoleon, Leto says, is that the most powerful cannon is useless if you cannot see your target. We know the location of one small encampment. That isn't enough to start shooting. You knew Napoleon? Julian asks. Napoleon was my horse, Leto says. Or we could actually do something clever and ambitious, Julian says. The Sabbat ruins are just a few miles away. You know that Julian is desperate to run this experiment, though you're not sure why. To prove his sorcerous power to himself, or to rival it, or to rivals, or other sorcerers. But Julian never does things for just one reason. You don't understand, Leto says, that I could simply insist we do things my way. But a gentleman would never, Julian says. I might be more inclined to help, Prince Leto, if you're to promise me instruction in the vampire arts, you know. No. I think we should destroy Riri Mouse. The prince is right. We can't risk the experiment. We can't risk an experiment with the stability of the entire Southwest at stake. We need to destroy Riri Mouse so I can drink his soul when no one else is looking. That's interesting. Maybe another playthrough. There's kind of like 4 main playthroughs you can go. One is the shit one, where you just fuck everything up and I think you just run away at the end of the game. One is full Julian, one is like full Leto, and then one is just yourself, where you get really strong yourself and kind of play both sides the entire way. So I wonder if that's that one, and you end up like retiring or something like that. It's very interesting. But we should help. We should help the prince, yeah, at any cost. You are a werewolf. I don't know if I've heard of that. Werewolf game. Huh. Leto and Julian negotiate for a few more minutes to give the impression that they haven't handed the decision over to the junior member of the trio. Elena makes more copies of the scanned map and tries to bump up the contrast. With 2 votes against him, or more depending on how many votes the Elder Outlander gets, Julian yields, though he keeps whining until Leto shows him the stake. This is Prometheus, the Eagle Prince says, pulling the tarp off of the top of the Rolls-Royce to reveal the 6-foot length of sharpened bristlecone pine. The only thing that can hurt the thing beneath the sand. My predecessor knew that one night he might have to destroy Riri Mouse, Prince Leto says, running his hand over the oiled wood. He cut down this ancient tree, then sharpened it into a weapon. It has only been used once before. On him. It is not easy to pierce a vein through Elder's hide, but I did it. It's a bit bulky, Julian says. And I'm told Riri Mouse is, well, big. Can you get it into him? I don't plan to do it myself, Leto says. He points at the rest of the machinery on the back of the Rolls-Royce. Wires as thick as your arms and huge molded pieces of steel and titanium. That's badass. That's a bit Vlad the Impaler-y. Ah. Oh my god, Julian says. You're going to use the car engine to fling Prometheus into Riri Mouse's heart? Damn it, Julian, I'm not doing this because it's fun. I'm scrambling for every advantage I can because we only have one chance to stop Riri Mouse, and if we fail, the Second Inquisition will descend on us like wolves on a wounded deer. It's still pretty cool, Julian mutters. Anyone has it the game? Huh? Riri Mouse with sincerity. Yeah. I feel him squirming down there, the Eagle Prince says. The weapon the Camarilla has managed to fling made to fling Prometheus is assembled atop the Rolls-Royce. It resembles, this is really cool. I went with Julian's plan last time, so I never even saw Prometheus. This thing sounds fascinating. And the idea that it's like an ancient tree, that's something about Vampire the Masquerade that I find very interesting, is that time in itself, and the older something is, kind of inherently brings magic and power with it. Are you a werewolf? It's like your one person secretly signed rolls. Oh, I've played that. Yeah. It's like the OG Sussus Amogus. I used to play that with some of my friends back in the early days of college. It is 2:18. Sunrise is in 4 hours and 18 minutes.
Julian, are you sure you can track him down?
Leto asks. I can get you there, Julian says, but you'll have to dig him up. And what we really need to know is what we're doing when we're there. Amogus. I don't think I've ever played the online version.
The Ransom and Elena will go first with the new maps in his Nissan and move us into position. Once we're close enough, I'll be able to free Riri Mouse. Julian, you will drive the rolls. I will take the shot.
And me? You ask.
You are there in case things go wrong, the prince says.
In case things go wrong. You spend a few minutes familiarizing yourself with Prometheus and how to steer the rolls. Then Elena holds the tablet up with the scans. Okay. Oh, I really want to try to finish this little like quest here. Maybe I will. Fuck it. I don't have a lot else going on today. Elena holds up the tablet with the scans while you take the Nissan deep into the desert. The Rolls Royce follows, moving carefully with Prometheus atop it. One clutch shift and the rev of the engine will pull the ballista taut. You just hope it'll be enough. As you travel, you spot an oddly regular shape against one of the rocky hills. It's a Buick SUV with its lights off. A figure silhouetted against the stars is setting up some kind of imaging equipment. Night vision goggles? You spot a Phoenix badge reflected in the light. Unlike other hunters, this group has identification. They're part of the 111th Military Intelligence Brigade. There's a military base not far from here, and it looks like the SI has infiltrated it. Bye-bye, looter. Thank you for stopping by. Leto has made us a meat shield, yeah. They're looking for you. And you just don't have time to deal with a fight right now. Circling around will waste time, but if you keep going straight, they might notice your position. One other possibility is to take the Nissan over some dangerously rough terrain. It's a straight path and won't slow you down much, though your Nissan's undercarriage won't like it. Riga swoops overhead. If you point the SUV out to Leto, he can send Riga to deal with the intelligence agent, though the prince won't like risking his familius. We can't slow down. I keep moving. I can fix my undercarriage later. I can. We got the max durability car for a reason. Let's go for it. You take the Nissan over the jagged rocks, wincing with each crunch. But you don't think the agent can see you. The Rolls accelerates past you and takes the long way around over a low hill. You pass signs warning about an abandoned mine and get into position a few minutes before Leto's Rolls appears. Jagged hills. Do people call them the Rolls? I would call it like the Royce. Maybe I would just say Rolls Royce the whole time. I don't know. Or the Phantom. I like the Phantom more, yeah. Anyways, jagged hills rise to one side of the wide, circly, sandy, rocky terrain. Scraggly trees to the other. The sandy terrain here is chewed up and turned over. It smells like blood and bad meat. Those are all great names, yeah. This is the Batmobile. And you can feel something nearby. Something that is trapped in dreams or nightmares, screaming as it tries to wake up all the way. All the way up. Elena's normally cool exterior cracks a little as she feels the corruption emanating from this place. She pops the collar of her red jacket and huddles into it despite the warmth of the night air. The Rolls Royce with its huge stake comes to a halt next to your Nissan. Julian and Prince Leto step out. The Assamite is still glancing at Leto suspiciously, but Leto's pale eyes are fixed on the churned earth.
He's getting ready to move again,
Leto says, hopping onto the rolls and swiveling the steel ballista around on its intricate pivots. Julian revs the massive Merlin engine, and the recurved steel and titanium pull taut. Leto pulls a crank on the ballista, and Prometheus drops into place. The Batmobile with a turret. The Phantom is actually made with steel, so it's more durable, but you're more likely to... Oh, yeah. I didn't realize it was made with steel. Yeah, that's not done anymore. Cars are made to crumple easily because crumpling is like being punched against a pillow instead of a metal bed frame. Yeah, but the engine sounds like shit. Yeah, exactly. Redirects it, yeah.
Ransom, Leto says very quietly. He's moving. I can feel the vibrations. What I want you to do is get into your truck and start the engine. And then get out of here as fast as you can.
I head for the Nissan, treading as quietly as I can. I need to destroy this monster before it reaches civilization. Yeah, why not? It's our job. You take one step, and the earth churns and starts to break apart. Take the shot! Julian shouts as a huge black skull rises from the earth. Leto swings Prometheus around. A hand explodes out of the desert, knocking you to the ground and ripping right through the door of the Rolls-Royce. Julian looks down and then frowns when he sees a hooked black talon driven all the way through his ribcage. Leto, you gonna take the shot or... The impossibly long arm drags Julian from the car, ripping the door away. The round door knocks you onto the ground as you try to get up again. You don't know where the ass might ends up, but Leto falls on back off the Rolls-Royce, spitting curses in Polish and French. Didn't give us a wound. Then, Riri Mouse rises out of the earth. Twice the size of a man, with bat-like ears and a head like a shattered and badly reassembled Neanderthal skull, he stands naked and filthy against the stars, his taloned hands streaked with blood. Yikes. Spike it, spike it, spike it. Yeah, he looks scary. And that twice the size, so that thing's like 12 feet tall. It's taller than the ceiling. That's terrifying. Spooky dookie. That is not friend-shaped. No, not really. The situation quickly goes to shit. Leto tries to aim the crossbow again, but there's some kind of problem with the mechanism that controls its movements. He starts working on the mechanism instead. If Julian were still in the rolls, he could back up the car, give Leto a better angle, but Julian is lying prone, his expression a mask of horror as he looks up at Riri Mouse. Elena stares open-mouthed and paralyzed at the elder Nosferatu. The only good news is that she is behind Riri Mouse, and he hasn't noticed her yet. All right. Oh, let's use it. Let's use it. Our best skill, right? Protean. Yeah. Why not? We maxed out Protean for a reason. I turn into a snake to lure Riri Mouse away and dodge his claws. Not just any snake. This snake is probably as big as Riri Mouse is himself. What are the other things? All right. Resolve, Composure, Drive. I don't think our Resolve is good enough. Dex, Firearms, no. Strength, Combat, no Strength. Strength, Combat, no Strength. Protean, Strength, Combat. We don't have Protean. Intelligence, no Intelligence. Elena and I draw Riri Mouse's attention. Okay. That one might work, but I don't like it. Charisma plus Leadership and Julian. We have no... Or this is actually one of those two, but let's try to fight him. Julian, you say. Get in the rolls. Before he can answer, or even put the half of his body back together, you and Elena rush the Nosferatu Elder. Your retainer gets right under his nose as he reaches for her, but he's not quick. Reaches over, but not quickly enough. The two of you turn into a snake mid-leap. Both of us, huh? UK Chinese food is a crime. Oh, dear. We're gonna be mad with hunger now. Yeah, we are. Our hunger's not... Oh, we got one. Yeah, one more tick. The two of you turn into a snake mid-leap, then twist through the air, landing amongst the trees and jagged rocks, and wiggle away. The elder blunders after you, uprooting trees and shredding the earth, but in serpent form, you're too fast. You dodge around the elder, then scoot back towards the rolls as Julian stomps the gas and backs the rolls up. Do it now! He shouts at Leto. Riri Mouse spots them and smashes his fist down on the front of the rolls, cracking the axle, then raises his fist to crush both of his fists to crush the whole vehicle. Or whenever it's convenient for you, Leto, Julian screams. Leto brings the ballista around and pulls the trigger. Prometheus flies just as Riri Mouse's fists come down again. You sit up and shake fragments of glass out of your hair. Are you still a snake? No, you can see your boots. What were you doing? Right, Riri Mouse. Head throbbing, you spot Julian and Leto in separate heaps about 20 yards apart. They're both quietly putting their flesh back together. The Rolls is obliterated. Big F, that was a beautiful car. And your Nissan doesn't look too great either. Elena isn't badly injured, but she looks dazed. She's holding her empty Glock in limp fingers. I forgot she has one, that's funny. Rolls glass isn't shatterproof, yeah. Did y'all just fuse? It does seem like it. Maybe I did, because that's how... I mean, we have protein maxed out. So, shapeshifting is maxed. Maybe we can meld with our ghoul, since our blood is in her body. And then there's Riri Mouse, on his back, like a king lying in state. Prometheus rising from his chest. Did his eyes just move? You encountered a few ancient vampires, but you know there are elders like Prince Leto, currently repairing his broken skull, and elders. Creatures whose blood has transformed in unpredictable and terrible ways over centuries or millennia, who are far from humanity or apes, or who are as far from humanity as apes or gods. Riri Mouse is one of those elders. Maybe given enough time, he'll be strong enough to drag the tree from his heart. You can't give him that time. So, I know nothing about what we're about to do. When I tried to do this mission, I failed. I went full Julian. We, summoned a portal to the Middle East, and it collapsed because I didn't have my stats maxed out. This was the point where I said I had just missing one single bubble, and I failed, and Riri Mouse escaped and obliterated an entire city. Fuchsia! Oh, dear. So I don't know. I don't even know what to choose. Let's not do that one. I kind of want to cut off his head, but talking to him could be interesting. Maybe not that, though. One of these two. How we doing? We are injured, but not donezoed. Why not? Would cutting off his head be most effective? Yeah, let's try cutting it off. Why not? Cutting off a head does kill a vampire, if you can cut it off. Is he coherent enough to talk? I don't know. Oh, it worked. Even paralyzed by the stake, Riri Mouse's flesh is unnaturally tough, as his eyes roll in agony and outrage. Oh, and his eyes roll in agony and outrage as you work. You have to lean over him, dangerously close to his huge fangs, as you saw through his spine. Then suddenly, his head gives way. The body instantly crumbles to gray dust. In Vampire the Masquerade, when you kill a vampire, in the snap, almost instantly, they will age to however old they actually are, once they're dead. So if a vampire is 80 years old, but they're in the body of a 20-year-old, you will watch them shrivel up and age to a dead 80-year-old. If they're old enough to be a skeleton, they will turn just to a skeleton, and if they're many centuries old, they will just turn to dust. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little spooky. So that's why he turned to dust, because that's how old he is. That if he had died when he would have naturally died, he's been dead for so long that his body there'd be nothing left of it at all.
It's over.
Prince Leto says, limping towards the pile of ash. He shrugs out of his shredded diesel jacket to reveal an equally shredded t-shirt. His pale hair plastered to his face.
We did it.
Julian. Oh, 5 more minutes, Mom. Julian calls from the dirt. He's fine. An eagle's cry cuts through the darkness. Riga drifts overhead, looks down on the scene, uncomprehending. It is 6:45 a.m. The sun is rising very soon. You load everything into the Nissan. You drive back to those signs you saw for the abandoned mine. Oh, that's when your Nissan's axle cracks. Is that good? Julian asks a few minutes later, trying to look under the truck. You're already salvaging anything from value for your doomed ride.
It is a problem for tomorrow night,
Leto says, peering into the mine. It disappears into the earth at a steep angle, so you climb down into it rather than lowering a rope. Which is good, because the stars are gone from the eastern sky. The next evening, you salvage as much as you can from the wreckage of your former ride. Julian takes out his bulky satellite phone and places a call. Late that night, a Jeep Cherokee rolls up with some of his people in it. They take you back to the Desert View Motel, which has been cleaned up and shut down. Hey, we got an achievement. It worked. Use a Rolls Royce and a giant crossbow to stop a vampire. Rest in peace to the Nissan. Yeah, it did its work. My guys in diesel? Designer digs. Prince Leto places a call at the payphone back at the Desert View Motel. A few hours later, a Sprinter van rolls into the parking lot. The retainers who get out carry submachine guns and wear body armor. They sweep the facility, then report back to the prince. Mr. Sim is gone, sir. You look around in confusion. Where did he go? What happened? The Assamite must have used his vanishing arts to take off. Was he about to smoke him? Was that going to be the end of Julian right there? Wow, Leto, damn. That's scary. You look around in confusion. Where did he go? What happened? The Assamite must have... Oh, I already read that.
Regardless, Prince Leto says. Ransom. You have served me well, and loyalty and competence should both be rewarded.
I did it to help the Camarilla, Prince Leto. I just want you to remember what I did. Leto's eyes narrow for a moment. He does not want to be in debt to a neonate.
Well, we both acted for the good of the Camarilla, he says, and now we have a few stories to tell. Let's get back home, and we will tell them together.
That's quite a boon. Leto's word carries far, all over Arizona. If he speaks highly of you, people will listen. The winding trip back to Tucson yields no surprises. One of Prince Leto's people drops you off outside, within walking distance of the Viper. The music inside is thunderous. It beats of Diamond? Triangle Amen? I think I looked this up before. It's like an EDM band. Threaten to break the neighbor's windows every time the door opens. Prince Leto's waiting for you, Alexander shouts. His eyes dart past you two. Who? When you turn, you don't see anyone. Leto and Dove are arguing alone on the rooftop of Elysium. You catch the words, shut down, and bureaucratic bullshit. Riga cries from atop a cactus when she sees you, and the kindred falls silent.
You did well against the Riri Mouse,
Leto says. He's holding a tiny fragment of the huge crossbow. It gleams silver-white like August 1947. It won't last, you say as the moon rises over New York City. I can't. We can't keep running around like neonates. It's the Delta symbol. Yeah. I will totally be late. Oh, Carrie. Oh, I said it wrong again. Carrie. Yes. I'm sorry. I hope you are not late for work. I just got caught up in the story. I gotta keep going. I know, I caught myself. I said it wrong. I don't know why that's such a natural reaction when I read the K.
Ah. Nothing has changed, Leto says. He's wearing white again. The war is over, you say. Europe is in ruins. My homeland will never heal. And America, I hate this place. I hate its crudeness, its proud, boastful ignorance. I want to rest. Don't say that, Leto cries. We don't have to stay here. What if we go west?
There's no more west, you tell him. It's just California now. It's just more of this.
I can't see another night of this. I done some research on that Stonehenge thing, boss, Dove says.
Boss? I talked to one of my contacts at the University of Arizona.
Boss.
Leto steps away from you, then signals a retainer waiting near the stairs. The servant returns after a few minutes with your payment in a manila envelope. You get out of there as quickly as you can. One thought keeps going through your mind. He knows. Leto knows what happened to Isla. He has to. You return to your estate. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Damn. Maybe no kiss yet. We did kiss. Yeah, so that is where I will leave it for today. But that was a lot of fun. It's such a good game. It's so fun to get back into it. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it as well. I'm so glad it saved my progress. They must have added the cloud save function, because when I first played it, every time the game updated, I would have to start over. But now I switched computers and it's still here. So I'm glad. But yeah, I missed this. It was a lot of fun.